Assalamu alaikum. So, my dear first year students, how are you? So, hope that you are well. I'm also fine by the grace of Allah. So, I would like to discuss with you another important poem. So, you know that one of the most important poem included in your syllabus that is called To Daffodils. So, you are welcome to the lecture number 7. So, dear students, I would like to deliver a lecture today on the poem Two Daffodils, composed by Robert Herrick. So, after this lesson, after this lecture, if you listen to this lecture attentively, inshallah, after this lesson, you will be able to understand the poem very easily. Though the poem is very easy, it's very simple and very short poem. The poem is very easy, and you will be able to make the answer of the following questions. So here are the questions. How does Robert Herrick compare human life with that of daffodils? So here you can find the answer questions. How does Robert Herrick compare human life with that of daffodils? That means in this poem, here we find a comparison between human and the flower daffodils. So here the poet shows a comparison between the flower and human beings. And the main theme of this comparison is this the transitoriness. So daffodil is also very much transitory, and human life also very much transitory. Daffodil flower lives for very short time, and human life also lives for very short time. Daffodil also have to vanish from this world after a certain period. Human beings also have to vanish from this world after the certain period. So in this way, in this poem, how does Robert Herrick compare human life with daffodils? This is the question. And another is, how does Robert Herrick develop the theme of transitoriness? The main theme of the poem is transitoriness. And the question is that how does the theme become developed in this poem? How the poet developed the theme of transitoriness in this poem. This is the main theme of this poem. So if you listen to this lecture attentively, you will be able to answer on the questions after this lecture. So now let's start about the poem. So after this, in the last portion of this lecture, you will be given the answer, complete answer. And there is complete answer here. There is complete answer. So my dear students, I will deliver the answers in the last portion of this lecture. So now before the answer, I would like to discuss with you the poem very shortly. So here you can find the image of daffodil flower. It is a drawn image. It is a picture drawn. It is a drawn image of daffodil flowers. Here you can find there is a hint that this flower may be die. It may be die, and whenever it blooms, after blooming, it dies. For a very short time, it prevails in nature. So let's start now the poem. So To Daffodil by Robert Herrick is an English poet, very much important. So before this poem, you read about another poem by William Wordsworth, I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud. That poem also about a flower, about the flower, daffodil flower. So in that poem, we find William Wordsworth shows a close connection between man and nature. And William Wordsworth shows only the beauties of nature. Beauties of nature. So in this poem, Robert Herrick takes the flower to daffodils as a token, as a subject matter of this poem, but through these daffodils, through this flower, he mainly represents human life. He mainly represents the true reality of human life, that human life is very much short, and everything in this world, everything has a short duration of time. After the time being, after this certain period, he or she or it must be die, removes away from this world. So, dear students, here the title also daffodil. Now starts the lines. The lines are very easy line. So here you find that the poet starts, fair daffodils, we weep to see you hast away so soon, as yet the early rising sun has not attained his noon. Stay, stay until the hasting day has run, but to the evening song, and having prayed together, we will go with you along. So in this way, we can find that in the very first line, the poet says, fair daffodils, fair. He used the word fair, fair. Fair means beautiful. Here, fair means beautiful. At the very beginning, he says, beautiful daffodils, beautiful flower. He makes an he makes an appeal. He makes his pathetic condition of his mind. Here he shows his pathetic, sorrowful mind. We weep to see the word weep. The word weep in the very first line gives a pathetic tone, a sorrowful tone in this to this poem. He says that fair daffodils we weep to see, you hast away so soon. Hast means hurry. Here hast means hurry. You hurry away. You hast away so soon. The poet in the first line tries to say that daffodil is very much beautiful. Daffodil flower is very much beautiful. And he says, fair daffodils, we weep to see you hast away so soon. As you hurry away so soon. So that is why we weep to see your hurry, your hurriness. And then he says, as yet the early rising sun has not attained his noon. That means the early morning, early rising sun. Rising, the sun is in rising. The sun is in rising. Human beings is in also rising. And many things in this world in its rising time, whenever it is in rising time, at that time it falls. At that time it falls. It is also a philosophical idea here. There are so many things. The beautiful things may not sustain for a large time. The whatever the beautiful things in this world, the good men, the men who are very much beautiful, the men who are very much humanic, they persons may not long live in this world. That means the fair or beautiful things may not sustain for a long time. And in the same way, there are so many things in this world who are in rising time, they lives, they die, or they move away from this world or from nature. So here he says that as yet the early rising sun has not attained his known. The poet makes an appeal that as early rising sun, still sun is in rising. It is not attained in known. But now you start your hurriness for go, why? And that is why the poet says that we weep to see your hurriness. The poet makes an appeal, makes an arch to the daffodil flowers. The title of the poem, Two Daffodils. That means the poet has an appeal to daffodil flower. The poet says, stay, stay until the hasting day has run. The poet makes an arch, the poet makes an appeal to the flower that please, please, dear daffodils, fair daffodils, please stay. Stay with us. Stay with us for a time, for a certain time. Stay with us until the hasting day has run. Until the day has run, but to the evening even song. At least, at least to the event song. Please stay, fair daffodils. The poet makes an arch here. The fair daffodils, please stay with us. At least evening, at least even song. And having prayed together, please stay with us at least evening. And then after evening, after saying prayer, evening prayer, after saying evening prayer, evening time, together, we will go with you along. And we also go with you. As we are the human beings, we also have a certain time in this world. We have to go. Please stay with us for a certain moment, for at least until the hasting day has run and to the evening time, please. And then we will go together with you. So in the first section of the poem, we find that the poet presents the short duration of daffodil flower. And daffodil flower starts its journey in the very beginning of the day. After blooming, it is ready for dying. So in this way, the poet makes a request to the flower to stay, but it is quite impossible for the flower to stay. But he says that we have a short time. So in this way, we find similarity starts. The poet starts a similarity. So we have short time to stay, as you have, as you. The here the poet says that we the human beings also have short time to stay, as you. Here the word you indicates that the poet makes personification of the daffodil flower. He gives the person equality to the daffodil flower. So we have a short spring. Here spring means youth. Here spring means youth. The poet says we have as short as spring. You know, the spring is very much short. Youthful time of human beings is very short also. The spring, a season, spring season is very short also. So like spring, we also have a short time. Here he uses as, it is called simile. It is called simile. Literary figure is simile here. So as quick a growth to meet decay, as quick as growth to meet decay, as quick, as quick a growth to meet decay. So here we are also ready to meet our decay very quickly, very quickly, as you, like you, or anything. This is the philosophical line, or anything in this world. The poet here tries to say that everything in this world, everything in this world has a short span of duration. After this duration, after this fixed time, everything has to decay, everything has to decay, everything has to decay. So human beings also has a short time, has a short duration of life, but human beings never conscious about this. The behavior of human beings, the behavior of human beings indicates that it seems to us that they will be eternal. They will be eternal in this world. They will never die. Human beings work, human beings activities in this way that it seems to us that they never die. So here the poet gives the true philosophy, the real truth. Here the poet presents the real truth of our life. That you means the daffodil flower or anything, every creature in this world, and also human beings, we must die, we die, as years hours do, and dry away, like to the summer's rain. Here he gives some simile examples. He uses the word like to the summer's rain. You know, summer's rain has a short, very short duration, very short time. So, and he also gives some other examples. He gives the example of that as the pearls of morning's dew. Here he gives another image, a beautiful image, morning's dew, the pearls of morning's dew. You know, dew looks like pearls. The dew drop in the morning on the grass, the dewdrop looks like a pearls. Dewdrop looks like pearls. So this is very much fantastic, very fine, very nice image here. That this, whenever sun rises, after rising the sun, this dew vanishes from this earth, from the grasses. So whenever the time runs, the time passes, everything in this world has to meet his decay. So in this way, the poet here gives some examples. He uses the simile, literary figure simile here. So he tries to say that like to the summer's rain, or as the pearls of morning's dew, never to be found again. And these morning dew never to be found again in the nature. In the same way, the human being who has to die, the things of nature who has to die, it never comes in this world. It never comes. It never be found again in that same condition, in that same type. It never be found again. So in this way, here we find this is a very short poem. In this poem, we find the poet gives his idea about the transitoriness of human life. So the students, the poem is very easy. So now I would like to give you the description in writing. that poem summary in brief. So in brief, here you can find that it's a summary of the poem very briefly. So this summary will help you to make the answer short questions coming your exam. So here you can find that in this poem to daffodil, the poet Robert Herrick compares human life with the life of daffodils. Very nicely it is stated that here we find that Robert Herrick, the poet, compares human life with the life of daffodils. He is so sad. In the beginning line, we find that the poet becomes sad, very much sad, because he used the word weep. So he says that we find that he is so sad because the life of daffodil is very short. So as the life of daffodils is very short, and for this, the poet feels a sadness in his mind. So he has struck a note of mourning at the first dying of the daffodils, first dying, quick dying of the daffodils. Very fast, very quickly it is died. The poet asks the daffodil to stay until the day ends with the evening prayer. Here in the line, you can say that the poet makes an appeal that at least the end of the day, at least the ends of this day, the evening prayer from the till the evening prayer, you stay with us. So after praying together, we want to go with them because, like the daffodils, men also have a very transient, human beings also, very transient life. So men have short spring or youth, which ends up very quickly. So you know that human beings has also very short youth. Here also it is very much important. Not only human life is also important, human life, but human youth, the youth. Whenever human beings in his youth, he do any harm to others. He do anything. He never care for others. But these youth may not sustain. You know, in Sonnet 18, William Shakespeare says, every fear from fair sometime declines. Every fear from fair sometime declines. So this is universal truth. Every fear, every youth must face decay. So why? Why we feel proud? Why we feel proud? Why we do harm with others? Because we never sustain this youth for a long time, forever. We have to lose this youthful time. We have to lose this youthful time. And we have to face the real truth of life. So we should think about this. So dear students, here you can find it. He wants to go with them. Men also have a transient life. Men have short spring or youth, which ends up very quickly. Their life is as short as the rain of the summer season, which comes for a very short time, and the dew drops in the morning, which vanish away and never come back. So this is a summary of this poem very briefly. So you can take the help here to prepare short answer. So my dear students, here you can find a diagram here. So in this way you can practice in your home as it is very easy poem. At the poem is very easy, so you can try in this way to find out. So here you can find fair, daffodils. So the word fair, here find a personification. It is a literary figure, personification. So you can write in your answer script in your script. You can write in your script the word fair. Here we find the personification. It's a literary figure, figure of speech. You know, personification means to give life to the non-living things, to give the quality of living things to any non-living things is called personification. That means giving the human quality to non-human things, giving the human quality to non-human things. It is called personification. So in this poem, daffodil flower is given human quality. So it is here we find it is fine. He uses the literary figure personification. So we weep, we weep. This is called alliteration, the similar sound in the beginning of the word. Whenever the similar sound at the beginning of the word, it is called alliteration. We weep, we weep, we weep. Similar sound. Assonance, there is assonance also. Alliteration. So another is you hast away so soon. You, where here? You know, you is used for human beings. So it is here you is used for flower daffodils. Here the poet never use it. He never used the word it as a pronoun of flower, but he used you as a pronoun of this flower. So this word indicates that here the poet use personification. So in this way you can try in your home, you can try to find out the literary figures. If you understand the literary figure what the poet uses, so it will give you a taste of literature. You will find a taste, a flavor of literature. Literature has a great taste. If you understand literature, if you feel literature, you will feel a such types of pleasure, a kind of pleasure in your mind. So if you find literary figures in the poem, so these help you to understand the poem, to understand the meaning, to understand the thought of the poem. If you understand the thought of the poem, if you understand the meaning of the poem, if you understand the philosophy of the poem, so it will give you a pleasure, a great pleasure, and it will works in you as a treasure, as like a treasure. It enrich, it must enrich your knowledge area. Your it gives newness in your ideas, in your thinking. So dear students, my dear students, please, you will try in your home to find out these literary figures and read more and more. You can, inshallah. So as yet the early rising sun, here sun is metaphor, direct expression. Never use as and like. Whenever the poet use as, like, then it is called simile. And whenever he makes a comparison between different things without using like as, then it is called metaphor. So it is here the poet using metaphor. So another is here is also a personification. He is known, a symbol. Known is used as a symbol here. So my dear students, in this way you will try to understand the figure of speech in your home. So, so now I'd like to discuss with you some figure of speeches images in the poem. And there is a brief, there is short question maybe that what types of images the poet uses in the poem. So you can say that the there are so many image. Image means picture of words. Whenever we read the lines, there is a picture arises in our mind, in our inner eye. So this is called image. So there are five kind of image. There are five sense of human beings. Though every sense, the image is related with the sense of human beings. So in this poem we find two types of images. So in the poem we find two kinds of image. Here you find hearing images. Hearing. That means whenever the word says the poet, we it seems to us that we are hearing now. It hits in our ears. Then these types of images, whenever they create such types of image, it is called image of hearing images. That means in line number, we weep to see, we weep to see, we weep to see. Whenever the word use weep, at the same time, we think the sound of weeping, the sound of weeping, the image of weeping, it hits in our ear. So it is an image of hearing. Another in the line number 9, having prayed together, praying sound, praying sound hits in our ears after this line. So in this way, the poet uses in these lines the images. So another important image, this is very common. This is very common visionary image. Visionary image. Whenever the poet creates such types of image, it visions in our eyes, in our inner self, in our imagination. So the poet says in line number 1, fair daffodils, beautiful daffodils. We think the daffodil flower is beautiful. The beautiful picture of daffodil flower recollects in our mind. This is the flower, beautiful flower. So whenever the poet says beautiful images, fair image, fair daffodils, then it creates a visionary image in our inner self. So another is that in line number 3, rising sun, the rising sun. If you close your eyes, imagine that the sun is rising. So it is also reflections in your mind. That is why it is called visionary image, a rising sun, a fantastic image. And in line number 5, stay, please stay with us, please stay with us. It creates it produces an image of staying. So in this way, these types of images used in this poem. So if there is question, short question, that what types of images do you find in this poem? So you can prepare answer in this way. That we find mainly there are two. We find so many images in this poem, and we can categorize these types of images mainly in two parts. One is hearing images, another is visionary images. In the line number A, in the line number uh, mentioned line in 1, we can find these types of images. In this way, you can give the example from the poem. So in this way, you can prepare the answer of the short question in your own way, not memorizing. You can prepare answer in your own way. My dear students, try to prepare answer in your own way. Inshallah, you can. So another figure of speech, another some figures of speech here we can find personification. So already I have said about this. The poet personifies the daffodil by making a conversation with these beautiful flowers. In line number 6 has, and also he says, you stay. In this way, personification means give human equality to a non-human things, give life to non-living things. So here we find also example of simile. You know, here is a example of simile. So in the line number 11, 12, and 18, the last line, we find 11. In the line number 11, we find as short as spring. Here he compares the daffodil flower, the duration of daffodil, or the human youth, as the spring, as short as spring. This is the example of simile. And another, as quick a growth to meet decay. As quick. Here he use the S. Another we find like to the summer's rain. Here gives examples of summer rain. There are some much more examples here. You can mention that as the pearls of morning dew. This is also an example. Pearls of the morning dew. This is also an example. Pearls of morning dew. Simile. So in this way. If there is short question there's or broad questions, what type of figure of speech do you find in this poem? Then you can prepare answers. There are we find there are so many uses of figures of speech in this poem. We find the use of personification, use of simile, use of metaphor, and also the poet uses so many images in this poem. And use of figure of speech gives extra flavor, extra taste to this poem. This makes the poem very nice, very enjoyable, very fantastic. So, and also these are very much helpful to explain the theme or ideas in this poem. So in this way, you can, throwing example, you can prepare your answer. So my dear students, now I would like to discuss with you the broad question answer, a theme of transitoriness of human life on earth. So here, there is an instruction that after this lesson you will be able to prepare the two answer. One is compare human life with that of daffodils. Another is the transitoriness, theme of transitoriness in the poem, the main theme of this poem. So now I'd like to discuss with you theme of transitoriness of human life on earth. So my dear students, how you will prepare the answer? How? So there is an instruction here. So at the very beginning of any question, listen to me carefully. At the beginning of any question, we have to give some introductory sentences. And in this introductory sentence, you will explain what you are going to narrate in the last section of this answer. What you are going to narrate. And in this way, you will prepare at first a topic sentence. At first, you will prepare a topic sentence. The sentence give the main issues, narrates the main issues that are going to be narrated in the last portion. And also, you can give an idea about of the poet also. So in the introductory sentence, you can say that the transitoriness is the main theme of this poem. And Robert Herrick very nicely presents the theme of transitoriness in this poem very perfectly. Everything in this world is transient, is transitory. Everything, human or non-human, human or any other natural creation of this world, has a short span of life, short duration of life. After this short duration, he or she or it must face decay. So, in this philosophy, this idea is very nicely presented, making a comparison between daffodil flower and human beings. And for this, the poet takes a subject matter from the nature. He takes the subject matter, very suitable subject matter to narrate the theme of transitoriness, and it is a flower, it is called daffodil flower. So in this way, you can prepare introductory sentence. And then after this introductory sentence, you can say that now I would like to discuss the theme of transitoriness, how the theme transitoriness developed in this poem, or the transitoriness of human life, how the theme transitoriness of human life shown in this poem. Now I would like to discuss through the light of the poem. So in this way, you can prepare introduction. So after preparing introduction, you can say to daffodils here, it may be the second stanza. It may be the second stanza, my dear students. Here you can say, Two Daffodils is a somber literary lyric about death and transient life. Here the poet wants to show that death is the destiny of all creatures and human life is transitory. He also describes the course of nature which all beings must follow: birth, maturity, and then death. This is the common nature. Dear students, this is the philosophical line. Very, very interesting, very common thing of human life, very common thing that you can find here, that everything, everything has must follow birth, maturity, and death. Everything, birth, maturity, and death. That means start, flourishment, and decay. Start, flourishment, and decay. So he emphasizes this meaning by focusing on the relationship between the daffodils and people, as they are all mortal. So this may be the second stanza. And in this way, and then you can explain, you can give the answer in this way. This will be the helpful for you. You can say in this way. This poem firstly says that, like the daffodils, we human beings also have a short span of time on earth. Here the youth period of human life is compared to that of the spring season, which is the best season and the most pleasant and beautiful season, but we only remains for a short span of time. So the daffodils are flowers of the spring. You know, daffodils is the flower of the spring season, and that is why, like the daffodils which withers away after the spring season, man also, man also, after its youth, travels towards its death, travel towards its death. The main theme is that beauty is transient and all the beautiful things slip into the shadow and silence of grave. What a philosophical line, what a fantastic line, my dear students here. The main theme is that beauty is transient and all the beautiful things slip into the shadow and silence of grave. So in this way, now you can explain from summary. In the first stanza we find, in the first stanza what you find in your book, from your book volume number 2, you will try to make complete the stanza in your own way. In the first stanza what you can say, that in the first stanza we find the poet gives the short transitoriness of daffodil flower. The daffodil flowers has a hurry to go away, but the poet makes an appeal to the flower to stay, but it never stay, it's run away. So in this way, through the light of the stanza 1, you can you can prepare the answer. So then you can say we have a short time to stay. You can explain in another way that we have short times to stay, as you he gives the example. In this way, the speaker points out that, like the daffodils, humans have a short spring youth, and like dead plants, we decay as quickly as plants to rejoin the soil. Plants, like people, lose the hours of eventual death, just like the daffodils. So, in this way, my dear students, you can take help here, and you can finally, the speaker points out with a simile that human life is like a summer rain or the pearls of dew. In the blink of eye, both are gone forever and forever and forever. So, my dear students, in this way, you can prepare the answer. Then you can give the conclusion. In the last stanza, we can say that, in conclusion, we may say that the theme of transitoriness is very nicely presented, shown in this poem, making a comparison between daffodil and human beings. So in this way, you can give the conclusion. So there is another question here, my dear students. Here is another question. So here you can find that, compare human life with daffodils. This is also very much important question. So in the question sheet, here was a question: how does Robert Herrick develop the theme of transitoriness in the poem? And another is, compare human life with that of daffodils. Compare human life. This now I would like to discuss with you on the answer of this question. Compare human life with daffodils. So, my dear students, you can find here, compare human life with daffodils. So, in the first introductory sentence, you will be given, you must give some ideas, some sentences. So, what you can say in the first introductory sentence? So, the question based, you have to give question based sentence. So, compare human life with daffodils. So, we can say that Two Daffodils is a fantastic poem by Robert Herrick. So, in this poem, Robert Herrick shows a comparison between human life and with daffodil flowers. And through this comparison, Robert Herrick wants to gives a philosophy of life, that everything of human life or nature, any creation of nature, is a short time, a transitoriness. So, by making a comparative study between human life and daffodils, the poet presents this truth in this poem. So, I'd like to mention how the poet compares human life with the flower daffodils. So, in this way, you can make introductory sentence here. So then you can give the second stanza. You can give the second stanza of the answer of the questions, of the answer of the questions. So here is a answer. You can say, in to daffodils, the speaker is praising. At first, the speaker is praising the beautiful flowers, but also uh, speaking as to how quickly they face. Eric's description of the life of daffodils in the poem parallels the brief life of man. So the first stanza relates the sadness that comes with the swift passage of the daffodils of spring. They arrive in all their glory, but seem to die too soon and return to their death. The speaker talks of the time of day, which is also symbolic of the stage of life. He says, so what he says in this way: as yet early rising, these are the lines, sun has not attained his known stay until the hasting day has run, but to the evening even song. So in this way, he said, early rising sun is youth, known is middle age. Early rising sun symbolizes youthful time of human life. Known symbolizes middle age of human life. So the speaker finishes the stanza by saying that, when we have prayed with the daffodils, we will go with you along. So in this way, next you can explain in this way. The second stanza provides the extent metaphor to the description provided in the first stanza. The speaker verbalizes the swiftness of man's time on the earth. We have short time to stay as you. This is the comparison, similarities. We have a short spring, a quick a growth to mid decay. As you or anything, we die. as your hours do and dry away. So in this way, the poet gives the description. The speaker points out that, like the daffodils, humans have a short spring youth, and like dead plants, we decay as quickly as plants to rejoin the soil. So plants, like people, also lose hours to eventual death, just like the daffodils. So finally, the speaker points out with a simile that human life is like a summer rain or the pearls of dew. In the blink of eye, both are gone forever. So in this way, you can take help from here to prepare the answer, compare and compare. So how he compares? In these lines, it is very compared. Daffodils with human beings. You can explain that daffodils is compared to daffodils also has a short time. You can prepare the stand answer in your own way. The daffodil has also a short time. Human beings also have short time. Every nature of this world, everything, every creature of nature of this world has a short time. Human beings also have short time. In this way, the poet mainly compares the shortness, the transitoriness of lifespan between two things, daffodil and flower. So in this way, you can prepare, taking help here, the answer. So dear students, these are the sources. These are the source that you that you that help you very much. So Introduction to Poetry Volume 2. So you will read, at first you will read all the explanations of the poem, and then you will read the answer, broad question answer. You only read, never memorize, only read. So whenever you read the explanations and the broad questions answer, so then you will it will help you, it will help you very much to prepare the answer in your own way. Or if you memorize only, so you never can learn. Please read and read. So if you read answers, you can prepare answer in your own way. Without reading, you never can prepare answer in your own way. So please read. So these are the sources. You can use the source. You can search in Google engines. If you search in Google engines, it will be helpful for you, and you can take the help of this book also. So Google, searching Google is very essential for you, my dear students. Searching Google, you never waste time in Facebook or anything. You can search these types of reading, this reading related topics in your Google search engines. So dear students, thank you very much. I hope that you will be able to prepare the answer taking help from this lecture. So for your betterment, for today I would like to finish the lecture. So thank you. In the next class we will discuss about another thing, inshallah. So thank you very much.